What they are seeing are these influence campaigns dealing with gas prices, dealing with inflation. So they use these bots. These cyber actors use these bots to spread misinformation. The goal is to divide Americans. So while investigators are seeing activity like that, activity that really hasn't stopped over the last several years, they are not seeing, we're told, anything tied specifically to the midterm elections.
So, you said that officials have to balance freedom of expression with security. I totally get that. Somebody puts a threat on social media. You can't just automatically go after the person. They can say stuff on social media. So then what is being done, though, to ensure that election workers feel secure, feel safe? Are there any other measures?
This is coordination between state and local and federal officials. The only way to stop these kinds of things is if you investigate and prosecute. And that's what they've done. They haven't brought a ton of cases, a ton of charges, but there have been some individual cases where people have been charged with crimes. And so you have to enforce these laws. You have to arrest people who are doing this. There has to be a deterrent. And that's what the FBI, as well as state and local officials, are working on right now, especially with these midterm elections around the corner.
With just 3 weekends to go into the midterm elections, this morning the FBI sending a stark warning of potential crimes and threats against workers and voters at polling centers. According to the Brennan Center, 1 in 6 local election workers have experienced threats, and 1 in 5 are very or somewhat unlikely to continue serving through 2024. Just this week in Arizona, authorities investigating multiple complaints of voter intimidation. In surveillance video obtained by our affiliate, KNXV, a voter drops off what appears to be a ballot. Later, you see a number of people set up lawn chairs nearby, that voter alleging they were filmed, followed, and accused of being a mule.
We've been preparing for this kind of activity based on, things that have come to our attention about groups that are planning these type of quote unquote watch parties or tailgate parties.
Hearing that from law enforcement and from cybersecurity officials. With those elections heating up, so are the attempts to shake voter confidence in the voting process. So the FBI is warning about that tonight, saying foreign actors are actively working on this right now. And they're not doing it by widespread hacking of infrastructure of voting machines and such. But this is really manipulation and misinformation online. The FBI says that this can take the form of spoofed websites, fake online personas, dark web channels, and their goal really is to spread and amplify false claims of a compromised voting process and undermine voter confidence in our democracy.
Federal officials are closely monitoring potential threats from cyber to physical violence to misinformation.
I think the greatest threat is anything that would make people not have confidence that the elections are accurate and that they were fair.
This is the FBI, where we've now had 14 agents come to us as whistleblowers and tell us how political it's gotten. This is the FBI that raided the home of a former president, took the phone of a sitting member of Congress. This is the FBI who kicked in the door of a pro-life leader 2 weeks ago outside of Philadelphia and arrested him in front of his wife and 7 children for something local law enforcement said was not a crime, not a problem. So this is how political this FBI has become. And I think a key point to remember, too, Maria, is this is the FBI who's involved themselves in every single election for the last 4 cycles. This is a point Congressman Gates made in committee a few weeks ago. In 2016, they spied on President Trump's campaign. In 2018, it was the Mueller investigation. In 2020, they suppressed information about the Hunter Biden laptop. And now in 2020, they've raided the home of the former president, taken the phone of a sitting member of Congress 91 days before an election. So when is the FBI not going to involve themselves in one of our elections? That's probably a key question. So that to me is the real concern. We're going to do everything we can to hold these folks accountable. And if we have the majority, bring them in front of Congress, do the depositions that need to be done so we can get the facts.